Hello guys, welcome back to another video of my computer, and today we're going to be going over the favorite books that were rated 4 stars or higher. So books that stand out to me. Okay, so for that number, I have read 51 books so far, and it is June 2nd when I am filming this. Okay, so my average time to finish is 4 days, and I have mostly read medium-paced books that are between 300 to 499 pages long, and they're all fiction, of course. And I mainly read young adult. The Trials of Apollo, The Hidden Oracle, so book 1, by Riordan. This is the first book in the Trials of Apollo series. So this just follows Apollo. He is getting a punishment, and his punishment, like if you read the Heroes of Olympus series, you'll see that. But so he's serving his punishment, and his punishment is to be as a human and complete these trials. So then he gets help from another named Meg, and Percy is in here a little bit too. So I'm also not going to say too much about all the books that I rated for, like all the books in this video, just because it'll be very long if I give a full summary of them. And then The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I own a physical copy of the book, but I am currently lending it out to a friend. It's a girl, and she randomly inherits billions of dollars, so she has to figure out why she inherited it. Alright, so The Burning Maze, which is the third book in the Trials of Apollo series. This is just, he's following another oracle. He has to save all the oracles. Book 4, The Tyrant's Tome. This book, you meet some other people you met in the Heroes of Olympus series. And then The Sun and the Star. This is by Riordan and Mark Oshiro. Yeah, okay. Follows Nico and Will. And Nico's been hearing voices in his head, so he has to travel down to Taurus to figure out what those voices are. This is the first book in the series, and the other books have not come out yet. I think the second book is supposed to come out later this year. Alright, so then Tokyo Ever After by Amito Jean. This book follows a girl who, she's just kind of normal life. But then she finds out that she is the daughter of the Crown Prince of Japan. So she travels to Japan and learns to be a princess. And there's a secret romance with her bodyguard. And then I read The Magician's Daughter. This is by H.G. Perry. This book follows a girl named Biddy, and she lives off the coast of Ireland on an island named High Basil. And her guardian Rowan. He goes on nightly adventures, but one time he does not return at the normal time. So she starts thinking that something more is going on. And then we have my first 5-star of the year. That was Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. This is the first book out of 2, I believe. And this book follows Liz and Wes, and they kind of went from not liking each other to dating. They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This book follows Marcus and Rufus, and they get a call saying that they are going to die sometime in the next 24 hours. So then they go on this website and they meet. Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. This book follows Spencer, and she really wants to be a pilot, but her father did something that's, now she's labeled the daughter of a coward, and so it's really hard for her. But then she discovers something in a tavern that might just help her. This was my second 5-star of the year. The Maze Runner by James Dashner. This book is it's kind of popular. It's very popular, I think. But Thomas wakes up in a lift, and he doesn't really remember anything except his name. And he's surrounded by strangers, boys whose memories are also gone. So then there's this big stone walls that surround the glade, and outside of that is an ever-changing maze, and it's the only way to get out. So then the first girl arrives, and she delivers a starry message. The Twin Crowns by Katherine Doyle and Catherine Weber. This book follows two twin sisters, and they don't know that each other exists. So one twin sister is a witch and one is a princess. So this was another 5-star read. The Witch Haven by Sasha Payton Smith. This book follows a girl named Frances, and she works as a seamstress until she's attacked and she discovers that she's a witch. So she does do this boarding school academy for girls trained to be witches. But there's also kind of a murder mystery element behind that, which is her brother was murdered a few months before. She's trying to figure out who did it. The False Prince by Jennifer A. Nielsen. This book follows Sage, and he is competing to become the prince. And the plot twists in this book are pretty good. This was also a 5-star read. And I had a reread, and this is Omar Rising by Aisha Said. This book follows a boy named Omar, and he's really smart, so he gets into this academy, like boarding school, that's really, like, prestigious. But then he figures out that for scholarship students, which he is, there are unreasonably high expectations and standards that they have to meet to stay in it for the second year. Snow Globe by Soyeon Park. This book is, so basically follows Chabam, and she lives in a frozen land. So then there's this snow globe, and inside of there is like the only warm place. And everybody that lives inside the snow globe is a reality TV actor. So then one of the biggest stars dies, and Chabam is chosen to take her place because she looks so similar to her. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This book follows Jude, and she was 7 when her parents were murdered. So, and then her and her 2 sisters were taken away to live in the High Court of Fairy. Then 10 years later, Jude really wants to fit in, but many of the Fae despise humans, especially Prince Riordan, the youngest and cruelest of the High King. To win a place at the court, Jude must defy him and face the consequences. And everybody doesn't think that this is an enemies to lovers. I would say, I've read the second one, but I've heard the second one is more of that, because at the very, very end, you get a sliver of that. But Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This book follows Citra and Rowan, and they're chosen to apprentice as Scythe. And in this world, humans have conquered hunger, disease, war, and misery, and they've also conquered death. So Scythes are the only one that can end life, and they're commanded to do so they can keep the population under control. So then, Citra and Rowan, they're chosen to apprentice as Scythe, and they don't want to do that. So the teens must master the art of taking a life, and then there's a competition, and it's pretty fun. Dress Coded by Carrie Firestone. This book follows Molly, and she is fed up with her school's dress code policy, like dress policy. So then she starts a podcast to start speaking it out, and she has girls on that have had unfair experiences with the dress code, and then they staged a whole protest to get that changed. The Wild Robot Escapes by Peter Brown. This is the second book in the Wild Robot series. And so Roz is on a farm working for a family, but she wants to escape and get back to her son, Brightbill. And I did read the third book, but you won't see it in this video because it did not get 4 stars or above. Reflection by Elizabeth Lim. This book is part of the A Twisted Tale series, and this one is What If Mulan Had to Travel to the Underworld. Pennsylvania by Stephanie Watson. This book follows a girl named Zora, and she loves to draw. But then her mom gets sick, and she kind of just loses the spark to draw. But then she starts scribbling out all her work. But then her and her sister, Frankie, are pulled into Pennsylvania, a place that holds all of her drawings. But there's this horse named Vistardi, and he is determined to finish what Zora has started. Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Powerless by Lauren Roberts is what follows Peyton, and she's an ordinary in a world of elites. So elites are people with powers, and then she saves the prince unknowingly, and she's chosen to compete in these trials. The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This actually surprised me how good it was. Follows Tassie, and she's a profiler, so she's a natural at reading people. So then she's chosen to participate in this FBI program that they like get and hire teenagers to solve famous cold cases. Alright, so that is it, because The Naturals is the last book I read, actually. So, I want to thank you guys for watching, and make sure to subscribe and click the bell to get the notification for next week's video. Goodbye!